Hello, and thank you for watching Devotionables. These are brief devotions for busy people. What's something that's on your bucket list? Well, one of the things that I've wanted to do for a long time is I would love to be in a recording studio with some famous band as they came out with one of their just most well-known hits. I think it would be fascinating to see musicians create art right before my eyes and to be able to experience that. And I don't know what it is, but there's something that's just kind of awe-inspiring to see history made and to see art created like that. I don't know if I'm ever going to actually be able to get to do that, but I am grateful that Disney Plus last month came out with a documentary called Get Back. And in the documentary, they basically showed footage of the Beatles as they were putting together their Let It Be album, their final album. And one of my favorite moments in the documentary was when Paul McCartney is just strumming on his guitar and he's playing it, and all of a sudden you begin to hear the Get Back song. It was a great moment. It was awe-inspiring just to see art created in that moment. Now, just for a moment, if we can even imagine what it must have felt like for Joseph and Mary as they held baby Jesus for the very first time. Imagine as they held that baby and they thought to themselves that divinity is right before them. How awe-inspiring must that moment have been? To know that the heavens had opened up and they had placed this divine embryo in the womb of Mary, and she had given birth to Jesus, and the long-awaited Messiah was there. I can't imagine what that must have felt like. One of the questions that we ask ourselves every Christmas is, Mary, did you know, right? Mary, what did you know about this baby that you were holding? Well, we know from Luke chapter 1 and from other passages in the other Gospels that Mary knew quite a bit. She knew that this was the Messiah that was before her. She knew that this was the one that would bring about both salvation and judgment for God's people. She knew that the injustices of the world would be reversed. She knew that God's covenants and His Old Testament promises would be fulfilled in Jesus. In the book of Colossians, Paul is reflecting on the work of Jesus. And this is what he says in chapter 1, verse 15. We read, it says, "He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. For by Him all things were created, both in the heavens and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities, all things have been created through Him and for Him." Verse 17, "He is before all things, and in Him all things hold together. He is also the head of the body, the church, and He is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, so that He Himself will come to have first place in everything. For it was the Father's good pleasure for all the fullness to dwell in Him, and through Him to reconcile all things to Himself, having made peace through the blood of the cross. Through Him, I say, whether things on earth or things in heaven." There's a lot in that passage that the Apostle Paul lays out for us. But the thing I would say to you today as we finish up this devotionable is I hope today that you'll slow down enough to be inspired by the amazement of God. We should be in awe because He is awesome. And it should put us in awe to know that if we know Jesus and we're trusting in the work of Jesus and through His blood, what He has done for us, that then we have hope, we have peace, and we have forgiveness of sin. So I don't know what's on your bucket list. I know I've told you what mine is again, but just know that whatever is on your bucket list, there's no experience in this world, there's no place that you can visit that could be nearly as important as knowing Jesus this Christmas season. Merry Christmas, 9th and 0.